this video, I'm going to teach you how to steer your canoe. I'll show you some strokes that'll help you go in a straight line, and then I'll show you some strokes that'll help you pivot your canoe so you can face the direction you want to go. This is the forward stroke. It's used to go forward. The point of the forward stroke is to be as efficient as possible, to use as less energy for as much forward motion. So the forward stroke looks like this. Sideways. So I reach as far forward as I can with the paddle, dip it all the way in the water so that the whole blade is underwater. Then I pull the paddle back just to where I'm sitting, no further, just to where I'm sitting. I drop my top hand, the blade comes out of the water. I spin it 90 degrees like this and then slice it back through the air to the start. That's the forward stroke. This is what a forward stroke looks like in the water. So I reach forward as far as I can, dip my paddle all the way in the water, pull it back just to where I'm sitting, no further, drop my top hand, spin the paddle, and slice it back through the air to the start. It's a forward stroke on the lake. The forward stroke. You'll see how I veer away from my paddling side. This is the J stroke. It's only used in the stern of the canoe, and it's a correction stroke. It's used to go in a straight line. So when you're paddling the canoe's always going to want to tend away from the side that you're paddling on. It'll always veer away. The J stroke is to fix that. It looks like this. Sideways. So I reach as far forward as I can, dip the paddle all the way in the water, pull it back to where I'm sitting, and then when I get there, I turn my top hand so that my thumb is facing down, and then I give a little push out. And that little push corrects the canoe. It corrects that veering. So reach as far forward as I can, dip my paddle in the water, pull it all the way back, turn my top hand so that my thumb is facing down, and then push out. Another way to know if you're doing the J stroke right, the side of the paddle, the side of the blade that's acting on the water, that's pushing the water, it doesn't ever change. Pushing the water this way, turn it like this. The same side of the blade is pushing out. So the J stroke. That's what it looks like. This is what the J stroke looks like on the lake. So it starts like a forward stroke, reach forward, and then at the end I turn my top hand over and give a little push out. And that corrects for the veering of the canoe away from my paddling side. Turn my top hand over so my thumb's facing down. Like that. That's a J stroke. The J stroke. The J stroke corrects for veering, and you go in a straight line this way. Looks like this. The J stroke. This is the draw stroke. It's used to steer the canoe, to pivot it either way. So the draw stroke looks like this. Sideways looks like this. So I reach out as far as I can, sideways to myself. I dip my whole paddle in the water, and I pull the water towards me. I draw the water in, and that pulls me towards the paddling side. And then when I'm at the canoe, to recover, I drop my top hand, the blade comes out of the water. Drop my top hand, blade comes out of the water, and then I'm ready to start again. So the draw pulls you to your paddling side. So if the bow paddler is paddling on the left and the stern paddler is paddling on the right, and they both do a draw, you'll turn to the left. You'll pull the bow to the left and pull the stern to the right, and that will spin the canoe to the left. The opposite turns you to the right. So the draw stroke one more time. That's it. This is what a draw stroke looks like in the water. So I reach out sideways, dip my whole paddle in the water, pull my paddle towards me. Then when it's against the canoe, I drop my top hand, the blade comes out of the water, and I'm ready to begin again. Put my paddle in the water, pull it sideways towards me, drop my top hand, ready to go. And that pivots the canoe. That's how you point in the direction that you want to go. That's the draw stroke. The draw stroke. The other way. The opposite of a draw is a pry. So if a draw is pulling the water towards you, a pry is pushing it away. So a pry looks like this. Sideways looks like this. So I start with the paddle right up against the canoe, right up against the hull of the boat, and I dip my paddle in the water, and I pry off the gunnel. I lever the paddle off the gunnel. Only a little bit, only about 35 degrees, so that the paddle doesn't come out of the water. Once it's there, to get back to the start, I spin it like this, and I slice it through the water back to the start. Then I turn it 90 degrees again, and I'm ready to go again. The tricky thing about the pry stroke is the blade never comes out of the water. It stays in the lake the whole time. So That's the pry stroke. This is a pry stroke in the lake. It looks like this. So I start with my paddle like this. I slice it into the water, then I turn it so it's like this. And I lever it off of the gunnel. I pry it off of the gunnel, just a little bit. And then to get back to the start, I turn my paddle like this, and I slice back down. And I just keep doing that, and it spins my canoe, pivots my canoe, so I'm facing the way I want to go. Remember, the trick with the pry stroke is the paddle never comes out of the water. It's got an underwater recovery. Pivot my canoe the direction I want to face. That's the pry stroke. The pry stroke. And then the other way. Paddling a canoe should be easy. It should be graceful and effortless. The point is to expend as little energy as possible to make the boat go where you want it to. So right now I'm just doing an easy J stroke, going a straight line along the shore. If I want to go look at this alder on my right, I'm going to do a bit of a pry. So now I'm pointing at the alder and I can J stroke straight over there. I'm going to go under these dead branches, and then to get back out into the lake I'll do a draw, turn left. Draw stroke. Alders. And then I'm just going to keep going along the shore, J stroking to go straight. Maybe I want to turn around and go back, so I'll do a couple big draw strokes, and then I'll turn to the left. Now I did a complete 180, I'll paddle back to that end of the lake, 4 J strokes. Just easy, quiet, not splashing too much. Try and make it look as effortless as you can. So if I want to turn that way to the right, I'll do a couple pries, so like this. facing the other way again. So I'll just do more J strokes. We'll go back to the beach. Effortless, graceful, leisurely. Quiet. So that's how you steer your canoe, with those strokes.